Chapter 51. Lying Chicken. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The Raptor truck has been heavily modified. To the point of excessiveness. Even in the forest, it was not slow. And the teams that had set off at the beginning were full of energy, rushing forward crazily. All they wanted was to reach the gathering point of the spirit beasts as soon as possible and occupy a good position. Therefore, they all glared at each other and refused to let anyone take advantage. It was still alright if the ability was to strengthen the body. However, those elemental users were all exhausted. They were sweating and sticking out their tongue like a dead dog. Li Xiang's team also had set off early. At this moment, they were at the front of the group. Li Xiang was so tired that his head was full of sweat, and he was currently drinking water. But while he was drinking, he could vaguely hear the sound of a car engine. Many people felt the same way and couldn't help but look suspicious. This was the Spirit Ruins world, so how could there be the sound of a car engine? They must have misheard it. It could be the roar of some spirit beast, right? But the sound of the engine was getting louder and louder. The students couldn't help but look back. They saw a black Raptor truck carrying a dozen or so people on a mad gallop. Jiang Nan held a loudspeaker. Come, come, come. Make way, everyone. It won't be good if we hit anyone. Teams. WTF. What was the situation? Where the hell did this car come from? Li Xiang, Li Mayan, and the others were stunned. Wasn't that Jiang Nan? Just as they were in a daze. The Raptor truck accelerated. The mud splashed all over Li Xiang and the others. They instantly became mud people. The scent of the earth can be smelled. The only thing that could distinguish between a man and a woman was the two pieces of flesh on their chest. Ck Jiang Nan, Li Xiang was instantly enraged and roared at the top of his lungs. But the car had already disappeared. From Li Xiang's resentment points plus 1,000. From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 1,000. From. What kind of immortal team was this? Where did their car come from? At that time, many people reported that they cheated. But there was no response. Who are they? Where did the car come from? Isn't it too cool? That's Jiang Nan from Jiang City First High School. The car was probably stored in the alternate dimension. This operation is too flashy, isn't it? Space system. This is too enviable. What the hell is this? What's the name of their team? Jiang Nan said that the team. Not that. I'm asking what their team name is. Jiang Nan said that the team was their team. Along the way, the list of resentment points was crazily refreshing. Jiang Nan was grinning from ear to ear. If he could compete every day and take the exam, wouldn't he be so happy that he would fly? How could he make himself feel good? If others were unhappy, he would feel good. It was not Jiang Nan who cheated. It was the system pit. What does it have to do with me, Jiang Nan? The people in the car were getting out one after another. Jiang Nan and the others also stopped driving. It was because they had also encountered a spirit beast. It was a group of red-faced baboons. Red-faced baboons. A spirit beast that formed a group, most of its level was bronze rank. Its attack power was extremely high, and its physical quality was also strong. The baboon leader had a spiritual skill, the intimidating roar. It could temporarily stun and freeze the enemy. As for the group that Jiang Nan and the others had encountered, there were about 7 to 8 of them. Last night, Jiang Nan read Zheng Wei's notes. Therefore, the moment he saw this group of red-faced baboons, its information appeared in his mind. Jiang Nan couldn't help but be interested. This was the first time he had seen a spirit beast. It was different from the baboons in the outside world. The red-faced baboon was extremely tall, and even if it were squatting on the ground, it would still be 1.5 meters tall. Under the golden fur was developed bulging muscles. The red-faced baboons were abnormally fierce. At this moment, because of the engine sound, the baboons had already noticed Jiang Nan and the others. They revealed vigilant gazes. "What should we do?" "Deal it all together," Jiang Nan said casually. Wu Yang nodded, "I'll listen to you." Jiang Nan smiled, "I'll pull the monsters. You will protect Xiao Tang Tang. Leave the rest to me." Tang Qianya couldn't help but feel a little nervous. Then what should I do?" "Jiang Nan, you follow behind the big guy. For your wood abilities. There is more vegetation here. You can control their movements." Tang Qianya nodded like a chicken pecking rice, "All right." The three of them got out of the car. Wu Yang's iron shield and sword were brought out, and he immediately transformed into a 2-meter tall bear. On the other hand, Tang Qianya's hands glowed with a green light. Right now, she was slightly nervous. Jiang Nan pulled out his tang knife and smiled, "Are you ready?" Wu Yang swung his iron shield, F*ck it. In a blink of an eye, Jiang Nan appeared in the middle of the baboons that were 100 meters away. This scene happened so suddenly that the baboons had no time to react. The tang knife in his hand cut through the air and drew a stunning arc. The knife in his hand fell, and blood splattered everywhere. The head of the red-faced baboon, which was as tall as a man, was cut off. Jiang Nan casually grabbed it and grinned. Tang Qianya felt goosebumps all over her body. A bronze-ranked red-faced baboon couldn't withstand a single strike from Jiang Nan. Wasn't this too direct and efficient? The pungent smell of blood instantly infuriated the baboons. They picked up a boulder at the side and smashed it at Jiang Nan. The baboon leader, who was nearly 2 meters tall and was obviously larger than the other red-faced baboons, roared. The sound was so loud that it sounded like thunder. It was the intimidating roar. It was as if a fist had fiercely smashed Jiang Nan's heart, and he became absent-minded for a moment. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the red-faced baboon fiercely punched. The green light in Tang Qianya's hand flashed, and she controlled the surrounding vines to wrap around the baboon leader's body quickly. In less than 3 breaths, the baboon lord broke free. At this time, Jiang Nan had already returned to his senses and teleported back. He was still holding the baboon's head in his hand. "Big one, hold on. I'll kill the leader first." The roar was too troublesome, and a moment of distraction in battle was definitely fatal. Jiang Nan had suffered a great loss and decided to kill the leader first. The berserk baboons rushed over in a few steps, and the clubs and boulders in their hands smashed fiercely at the iron shield. Wu Yang's face turned red, and he roared. The sword in his hand slapped wildly and smashed a baboon into the air. Jiang Nan teleported again and appeared in the air. The tang knife in his hand stabbed into the back of the baboon that had been sent flying into the air. By the time the baboon landed on the ground, it was already dead. The baboon leader's eyes were red, and he let out another intimidating roar. The three of them were momentarily dazed. With a slap, Wu Yang was pushed back 3 steps. But what followed was Wu Yang's shield rush. Bang! The baboon leader's body became unstable and fell backward with a bang. Jiang Nan seized the opportunity and teleported to the shoulder of the baboon leader. The tang knife in his hand stabbed into its neck. However, the baboon leader's fist fiercely smashed in Jiang Nan's head direction. Jiang Nan didn't have time to draw his knife. So he abandoned it and turned around. He took the baboon fist and threw it over his shoulder toward Wu Yang. Wu Yang's sword violently slashed the baboon leader and cut it in half. The baboon leader was dead, and the remaining 4 little red-faced baboons were nothing to be afraid of. They were killed in just 30 seconds. Now, 6 baboon corpses were lying on the ground. Tang Qianya's heart was pounding. Was this the legendary lying chicken? Was it already finished? Chapter 52. 3 bedrooms and 1 living room with shower. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In less than 60 seconds, Tang Qianya ate melon seeds all the way, only slightly controlling the bushes and entwining the baboon leader. And then the baboon was wiped out. When did hunting spirit beasts become so simple? Teleportation was simply heaven-defying. She watched as Jiang Nan skillfully used the triangular army thorn to pull the spiritual bead out of the baboon leader's head. Tang Qianya was still dumbfounded. Baboon meat should be very hard to eat. It's okay if we don't bring it, right? Tang Qianya. It was fine if you take its spiritual bead. You were also thinking about taking its body away. This short battle was tracked and broadcasted by drones. The barrage in the live broadcast room exploded. Isn't Nanshan too fierce? Heaven Lake Spirit Ruins Red-Faced Baboons group is famous for being difficult to deal with. Many of the fully equipped bronze-level teams don't dare to touch it. And yet they defeat it in 57 seconds. Tang knife. Too cool. Did you see it just now? The shoulder throw showed me a face. Teleportation is simply heaven-defying. I couldn't catch the shadow of Nanshan in the live broadcast the whole time. That bear is definitely a national treasure class heavy armored shield and sword animal, it's so good. 666, the number of viewers in the live stream room skyrocketed again. The video of Jiangnan said that the team killing red-faced baboons in 57 seconds was even more viral online. It was crazily forwarded by Nanshan's fans. Zhong Yingxue and Xiaoyao, who were sitting at home, looked at each other as if they had seen a ghost. Has Xiao Nan really never entered the spirit ruins? Isn't he too strong? Zhong Yingxue's beautiful eyes were shining. There was no hesitation during the battle. The timing was very right. If they did not know its bottom, they would think that Jiang Nan was an old veteran. At this moment, Jiang Nan and the others were on their way again. Jiang Nan, who was sitting in the car, recalled the battle just now. He was very dissatisfied. He had underestimated the effect of intimidating roar. If they fight again, Jiang Nan would definitely kill the baboon leader at the first possible moment. At the same time, he also realized the shortcomings of his team. The group damage output was weak. Jiang Nan had just played the role of an assassin. If there were a spiritual mage in the group, it would be even easier. Thinking of this, Jiang Nan couldn't help but look forward to the days after going to the Songjiang spirit ruin. After killing 7 baboons, they had only obtained 3 spiritual bead. One of them even had intimidating roar's spirit technique. How is it? Does big guy want this spirit technique? Wu Liang shook his head, no. It's not suitable for me. How about you Xiao Tang Tang? Tang Qianya shook her head frantically, I don't need it. She was a soft girl. Would she let out a wild roar in battle if she absorbed this spirit technique? Would she scare the enemy and the spirit beasts to the point of peeing in their pants? Wouldn't her character be ruined? King Kong Barbie. Xiao Tang Tang refused in her heart. They drove all the way wildly and saw almost the same spirit beasts or group of spirit beasts, but Jiang Nan had no intention of letting them go. Later on, when he saw a black iron rank spirit beast, he didn't let the car stop. Jiang Nan directly teleported out, and after a few seconds, he teleported back. Wherever they passed, he would leave no survivors. Along the way, he had never encountered spirit beasts that were similar to red-faced baboon's leader. After all, it was the outer perimeter, and there weren't many spirit beasts. Their levels weren't high either. At around 4 in the afternoon, Jiang Nan and the others reached a safe zone. They obtained 11 spiritual beads, 5 of which were bronze rank and the rest were all black iron rank. At this moment, Jiang Nan's resentment value list was crazily refreshed. They were all people he didn't know. Jiang Nan was baffled. What the hell? I didn't do anything, yet they blame me. Could it be that he was too handsome to be hated? Little did he know. The team behind Jiang Nan was going crazy. There was nothing left along the way. There was not a single spirit beast to be seen. All they saw were corpses that had their throats cut off by a single slash. That was called plucking feathers from a goose. Even the fruits along the way were picked off. They ran from 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening. There was no harvest at all. It would be strange if they did not blame Jiang Nan. They even once doubted life. Were we here to participate in the competition, or were we here to run a marathon? They were so tired that their legs and stomachs were trembling. Finally, they arrive at the safety zone in exhaustion. It was a wide open space next to a large lake. The soldiers surrounded it with wooden fences and built a safe zone for martial spirit warrior to rest and reorganize. After all, the spirit ruins at night were very dangerous, and many spirit beasts were nocturnal. There were also soldiers armed with guns, and the military martial spirit warrior was on duty. The participating team arrives here one by one. Li Xiang's team was particularly outstanding. They had become true clay figurines. The mud was all over their bodies and became dry. It was a tragic scene. They were all waiting to enter the safe zone and have a good night's rest before fighting tomorrow. As soon as they entered the safe zone, they were dumbfounded. They saw a huge inflatable tent standing by the lake. A 3 bedrooms and 1 living room large luxurious tent. There were also 3 500-watt camping lights turned on. Wu Liang was squatting shirtless by the bonfire. There was a whole roasted deer on the bonfire, emitting a charming aroma. A huge rainbow parasol was erected on the lake's edge along with a beach chair. On the beach chair, Jiang Nan was wearing a white bathrobe. He was holding a goblet in his hand, and inside it was a chilled Coke. He was gracefully admiring the afterglow of the setting sun. He said without turning his head, "Big guy. Put more cumin and chili." Wu Liang said, "Okay, brother Nan." F***ck. What the hell was this? The participating team that had gone through a day of a marathon had completely exploded. Do you have to be so F***king exquisite? The style was wrong. A big tent with 3 bedrooms and 1 living room. More cumin and chili. Drink Coke in a goblet. Watching the sunset on a beach chair. For a moment, they thought they had arrived in Sanya. Were you here for a competition or a vacation? Look at their side again. A small hammock for camping. Sleeping bag, army provisions, and instant noodles. After running for a day, how could they still have the energy to toss about? They wished they could immediately lie on the ground and sleep. As a result, they were lying in their sleeping bags and smelled the fragrance of roasted deer. The compressed biscuits in their hands were no longer fragrant. F***ck. We were both humans, why were you such a dog? Can you eat it secretly? Don't let us see you. The participating students were all cursing in their hearts. At this moment, Tang Qianya, who was wearing a bathrobe, walked out while drying her hair. Her pretty face, which had just taken a shower, was still pink. Brother Wu, are you done roasting? Oh. In a minute. You can go play a game first. Teams. This F***ker even brought a shower. What? You even bring a game console? Why didn't you move your home here? Heavens, why didn't you send a bolt of lightning to kill this group of bastards? Li Xiang looked at Jiang Nan, and the others then looked at himself covered in mud. On the side, Lu Chuanwu was flipping through his backpack. Brother Xiang. What flavor do you like in your instant noodles? Braised beef. Chicken stewed with mushrooms. Li Xiang's face darkened. Eat your mother's egg. Go to sleep. Lu Chuanwu. Li Mayan, Ling Feng. Jiang Nan watched as his resentment points refreshed like crazy until it dropped. I can't help it. I don't want it to be so exquisite either. Chapter 53. Jiang Nan. Pay attention to your limits. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Next to the bonfire, Jiang Nan used triangular army thorn to cut the roasted meat. He ate until his mouth was full of oil. On the other hand, Wu Liang grabbed a deer leg and fiercely gnawed on it. Tang Qianya was eating at the side, her face full of happiness. Spirit beast meat was not something that ordinary meat could compare to. The small group stationed at the side had a face full of bad luck. Smelling the fragrance of the roasted meat, they couldn't sleep at night. There was really no way. They could only pull out 2 grass to plug his nostrils. But they still couldn't control their drool. They were so angry that they covered their head and fell asleep. Even at night, the broadcast room was still hot. Isn't this too naughty? What kind of operation is this? Look at how wrong those teams are. I'm dying of laughter. Not only did they run a marathon for a day, but they also have to accept Nan Shen's mental torture at night. Facts have proven that Nan Shen is here for a vacation. Zhou Yingxue and Xia Ya watched as Jiang Nan and the others ate roasted meat. They were so envious. Can Spirit Ruin still play like this? Jiang Nan's operation had already refreshed her worldview. After all, every time she entered Spirit Ruin, she would have to suffer a lot. How could there be such conditions in the wild? But what about Jiang Nan? Wasn't his life too exquisite? Xia Yao looked at Jiang Nan with her shining big eyes. She made up her mind that she must team up with Jiang Nan in order to take a bath in Spirit Ruin and have a barbecue. The Night Legion army, who was watching the drone footage in the hotel, also had a wry smile. After participating in missions for so many years, this was the first time they had seen such a ridiculous operation. Show off. Show off to the extreme. The following day, they were awakened by the aroma of the latte and the roar of an engine. When they opened their eyes, they saw Jiang Nan and the others driving away on their raptors. They panicked. They were also anxious. Their eyes were red as they frantically packed up their things. Hey! Jiang Nan! Don't F*King leave. F*CK. Are you F*King on your way again? Get up, don't sleep, chase him. Oh! Why are you chasing Jiang Nan so early? He's not a beauty. Are you F*King asleep? Let them run in front. What else can we get with so many of us? The participating team packed up in a hurry. They were like a group of hungry old zombies. In the end, what appeared in front of them was only the wheel track. There were also large amounts of spirit beast corpses. After running for a day, they arrived at the next safe zone, and Jiang Nan showed them another face. They again had to endure the fragrance attack. And fell asleep with a stomach full of resentment. In the end, Jiang Nan again drove away early in the morning. This situation lasted for 3 whole days. The group had already begun to curse. The team that took the upper and lower path was in a good situation. Only in the middle path. They had been only following behind Jiang Nan. They had not even gotten a single hair. Each and every one of them had dark circles under their eyes as if they had encountered a famine. Had they followed Jiang Nan for 3 days on a marathon? They don't need to go to school if they continue to play like this. They should go out and register for a marathon run, a gold medalist player. Therefore, they all reported Jiang Nan's evil deeds. I can't take it anymore. My body can't take it any longer. You guys can take care of him. I made 110,000 steps on my WeChat pedometer yesterday. I'm ranked 108 on my friend list. Can't you believe it? I can't take it anymore. I want to go down the other path. I can't afford to play on the middle path. Someone is cheating. The team on the middle path complained and collectively made a request. The teacher and staff couldn't stand it anymore. They were also helpless against Jiang Nan. After all, he didn't violate the rules. He was just using the rules. If this continues, I'm afraid it will collapse. In the car, Jiang Nan's satellite bracelet, which was happily investigating spiritual bead, suddenly vibrated. Jiang Nan. Pay attention to your limits. Don't affect the progress of the competition. If this continues, I can only ask you to come out. Jiang Nan was stunned. F***ck. Why did you invite me out? I had a good 15 days of vacation. He was still thinking of what to do next. Who did he provoke? He could only helplessly stretch out his hand from the window and make a gesture of okay. Wu Yang said helplessly, what should we do next? Jiang Nan chuckled, of course we will listen to the teachers. We are so tired. We have to take a good rest for the next few days. Tang Qinya. Tired. Where were you tired? After 3 days, I have grown fat, okay. Sure enough, in the next 2 days, Jiang Nan did not rush to take the first move. Instead, he followed behind the teams. He did not kill the spirit beasts when he saw them. He brought Wu Yang and Tang Qinya to take a stroll in this spirit ruin. If not, he would return to the safe zone to play games. The rest of the teams finally heaved a sigh of relief. They started to hunt spirit beasts and slowly gained an income. But why were they still felt so angry? We would be covered in dust every day, willing to sacrifice our lives. In the end, Jiang Nan took his sister on a stroll every day. They were both human. Why are you so outstanding? On the following day, Li Xiang's team killed a 3-star bronze armored dragon. Lu Chuanwu, use your beast form. Hold on. I will use mud to restrict his movements. Ling Feng will take the opportunity to launch a sneak attack. Li Mian will attack along with him. The atmosphere in the field was extremely tense. Just at this moment, Jiang Nan brought Wu Yang and Tang Qinya in. Seeing the scene in front of them, their eyes lit up. Li Xiang and the others were on guard, afraid that Jiang Nan and the others would take action to snatch it. Jiang Nan pointed at the small waterfall. The scenery here is not bad. This is it. Go put on a show. Then, Wu Yang and Tang Qinya ran to the side of the waterfall. Wu Yang's upper body was bare, and he did a bodybuilding action. His muscles were simply exploding. Tang Qinya, on the other hand, put up a pair of scissors hands and smiled sweetly. Li Xiang. Li Mian. Lu Chuanwu. F***ck. We were fighting. Hunting spirit beasts. Can't you see that the atmosphere was so tense? It was a life and death situation. And then you brought someone to take a photo. Can you be a little shameless? Come. 123 laugh, say cheese. From Li Xiang's resentment points plus 999. From Lu Chuanwu's resentment points plus 666. From. After the click, Jiang Nan hurriedly calls them, come, come, come. The picture looks handsome. Look. Tang Qinya's eyes immediately lit up. Which girl didn't like taking pictures? She hurriedly went with Wu Yang to take a look. In the end, a big face appeared on the phone screen. Jiang Nan smiled brightly in the photo, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Tang Qinya. Selfie. You were so handsome. In the end, you took a selfie. Then what's the point of letting us take a pose? Hey. Tang Qinya pouted. Wu Yang, brother Nan. Can I beat you up? This was too much. From Tang Chinya's resentment value plus 333. From Wu Yang's resentment points plus 999. Oh. The big man had a lot of resentment. More than the little girl. Here. Jiang Nan swiped the photo album. Only then did the photo that he had just taken appear. Wu Yang was muscular in the photo, and Tang Qinya had a sweet smile. Along with the furious Li Xiang and the others in the background. Wu Yang and Tang Qinya's faces darkened even more. Do you have to be so cheeky? Jiang Nan chuckled and said, let's go take another one. Wu Yang, sigma, dot. Tang Qinya, equals dot, dot. Chapter 54. The Charm of True Fragrance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What kind of special hobby was this? The next one. How much does Jiang Nan like to annoy people? Tang Qinya felt that she had been coming here under the resentful gazes of others for the past 5 days. Wu Yang, brother Nan. If this goes on, it will be a little difficult for us to get first place. Jiang Nan, it's okay, I know. It's just a spiritual bead. The barrage in the live broadcast room completely exploded. People are fighting while him taking photos. When can I be as good as Nan Shen? Why do I want to beat him up so much? Huh, it's too much. What kind of operation is this? You're not going to hunt spirit beasts anymore. A show. Are you giving up? At this moment it was already the 5th day that everyone had entered Spirit Ruin. They had also arrived at the 5th and last safe zone. Further ahead, there would no longer be a safe zone. Most teams would choose a safe zone as the center of operation. They would go out to hunt spirit beasts during the day and come back at night to rest. Very few teams would continue to go deeper because the safety of the night would not be guaranteed, and the risk factor would significantly increase. Jiang Nan had already explored almost every place nearby in the past 2 days. He now had a general idea in his heart. He returned to the safe zone early to set up camp on this day. When the teams returned to the safe zone with tired bodies, a mouth-watering aroma filled the entire wilderness. In front of the big tent, there was a huge barbecue furnace. The meat skewers had been arranged and were being roasted by the charcoal fire. There were also 7 to 8 small tables in the open space. The wind blew wildly, and the aroma spread to the entire camp. In the loudspeaker, Jiang Nan's voice repeated over and over again. Come, come, come. Heaven Lake Specialty Kebab. Extremely fragrant and delicious. Who wants to buy kebab? Mom. I want to eat kebab. Eat. Eat big kebab. Are 10 kebabs enough? That's enough. Thank you, Mom. Mom is so good. Tang Qinya shyly covered her face. She never thought that she would sell meat skewers in Spirit Ruin one day. And wasn't that statement too shameful? Jiang Nan himself made the whole process, and even the little girl's voice was imitated perfectly. The group was stunned. What was the situation? They had just returned to the safe zone. Why did they feel like they were in a night market? Were they opening a food stall in Spirit Ruin? Were you being serious? So you have been thinking about this for the past 2 days. But it was so King fragrant. After eating compressed biscuits and instant noodles for 5 days, it smelled fragrant, and their saliva flowed out. At that time, someone asked, how much are you selling? Jiang Nan waved his hand, 1 black iron rank spiritual bead per person. Eat all you can. A 4-man team will get a discount. And only need to pay 3 black iron rank spiritual bead. Team. Was he staring at our spiritual bead? No wonder he hasn't hunted spirit beasts for the past 2 days. Were you waiting here for this? Do you have any shame? Wasn't this cutting leaks naked? Have we worked so hard to get spiritual beads just for you to rob it? Do you want to cut leeks here? No way. No way. But that kebab was really fragrant. What does it taste like when you eat it in your mouth? How great would that be? Then they wiped their drool. F***ck, isn't it just 3? We'll give it to you. At worst, we'll have to work harder tomorrow. Give a string. How could a team with a good harvest need to consider? They only ate instant noodles for 5 days, and their mouths were already sick of it. In a short while, the 8 tables were filled. Some teams had no place to sit, so they directly sat on the ground to eat kebabs. Every one of them was like a hungry wolf, eating their skewers out with lightning speed. The other teams were all drooling. Seeing that the situation was almost ready, Jiang Nan threw out another heavy stuff again. Come. Everyone, take a look, ice-cold beer. Meat skewers with beer. The more you drink, the more you want to have. 1 bronze level spiritual bead. 1 dozen beers. At that time, someone was shocked. Why is it so expensive? Jiang Nan, it's chilled. Do you think it is expensive? Can you find another one for me in this Heaven Lake Spirit Ruins? No one was willing to buy it at first. But who could withstand the salty meat skewers? Thirsty and salty. When Jiang Nan asked Wu Liang to roast it, he would pour a lot of salt into it. They were so thirsty that they looked at the chilled beer. F***ck. Give me a dozen. Boss, your kebab is too F***king salty. Can you give me less salt? Jiang Nan, I have no choice. My stuff is so cheap. Put more. Put more on it. Put more cumin and chili. From Li Guang's resentment points plus 666, from Han Jishuan's resentment points plus 885. From Wu Liang was so busy that he was sweating profusely, while Tang Qinya put on a small apron and started working as a waitress. Spiritual bead was rushing into their pocket. Previously, he was worried that they wouldn't be able to get first place. But then he thought of something. Can I open a food stall in this Heaven Lake Spirit Ruin? I think it was alright. Now, this was equivalent to the entire Middle Path team working for Jiang Nan. It was obvious that he was cutting leeks. But so what? People who had been hungry for 5 days were unable to resist the fragrance of the kebabs. Jiang Nan was taking a stroll in the camp with kebabs in hand. Come. Brother. Do you want a bite? That person had a black face, and his teeth itched with hatred. From. Ah. It smells so good. The oil flow when you bite. From. He strolled over to Li Xiang's side. Do you want to eat some? Your team has a good harvest, and they don't lack those 3 spiritual beads, right? Li Xiang sneered, yes, they are not bad. You are not bad either, why didn't you give them to us for free? Jiang Nan curled his lips, a free lunch. Little friend, I'm afraid you're overthinking. Li Xiang narrowed his eyes, don't be happy too early. If this goes on, the school will definitely look for you. Jiang Nan shrugged, looking for me. Did I violate the rules? I only provide the needs. Spiritual bead was voluntarily given to me. Lu Chuanwu pointed at Jiang Nan's nose and scolded, Lu Chuanwu, can starve to death. Even if I die here, I won't eat anything from you. Li Xiang and Ling Feng both gave Lu Chuanwu a thumbs up. Jiang Nan curled his lips, if you don't want to eat, then don't eat. As he spoke, he turned around and shouted, limited time offer. Anyone who comes to my place to spend can use the shower for free. When these words came out, Li Mayan couldn't sit still for a moment. She could take a bath. After 5 days, she was smelly. Moreover, she was covered in mud on the first day. This was definitely fatal to girls. How about we go and eat some too? It's not like we can't afford 3 spiritual bead. Li Xiang frowned, isn't this letting Jiang Nan take advantage of us? His spiritual bead will only increase in number. Ling Feng said in a low voice, even if we don't give it to them, they will definitely be number 1. Li Xiang. This was very uncomfortable, but Li Xiang couldn't lose face. If you want to go, go by yourself. Li Mayan didn't care about that. She directly took the spiritual bead and went to take a bath. Ling Feng and Lu Chuanwu looked at each other. The money had been spent. Wouldn't it be cheap for them if they didn't eat? Humph. See if I don't eat you until you're poor, you son of a b*tch. In the end, Lu Chuanwu and Ling Feng, the 2 brothers, squatted on the ground and ate a large meat skewer. Ah, it smells so good. Ah. Why does it smell so good? It's so delicious. Let's eat more. Jiang Nan. I'll just take what you just said as a fart. Sure enough, everything cannot escape the charm of fragrance. Chapter 55. Under the crooked neck tree. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. They worked until late at night. They earned more than 70 black iron rank spiritual bead. 13 bronze rank spiritual bead. Wu Liang never thought that Jiang Nan would obtain first place by selling skewers. The 2 of them were currently cleaning up the stall. On the other hand, Jiang Nan carried a large pile of skewers and walked towards the troops on duty. In the past few days, Jiang Nan had gained unimaginable amounts of resentment. It was constantly refreshing. There was one point that Jiang Nan paid special attention to. A name that should not have appeared on the list of resentment points suddenly appeared. From Ivanov Karevi's resentment points plus 666. There had been a total of 3 times in these past 2 days. Moreover, this situation only occurred when they arrived at the last safe zone. Jiang Nan smelled a conspiracy. Someone from the White Shark. He also wanted to know who this person was. For this reason, he had been crazily taking photos of all kinds of places in the past 2 days. He wanted to confirm whether Ivanov was hiding in the participating team or not. The result was not. Then there was only one answer. Jiang Nan, holding a beer and kebab, walked toward the soldiers on night watch. Brother. Do you want to eat? It smells so good. The soldier looked at Jiang Nan indifferently. His expression did not change and still stood straight. From Wang Jianhua's resentment points plus 333. Not this. The real name recognition of the strongest stall system was simply heaven-defying. It was perfect for finding people. Brother. You've been standing here for a day. It's my treat. Do you want some? The army has a rule. Are you sure you don't want to eat? Jiang Nan shook the kebab in front of the soldier's nose. From Lu Yuchuan's resentment points plus 666, Brother Bing. Sorry. I was also forced to do this. If you want to hate someone, then hate Ivanov. After half a round of probing, no one made a move. Finally, he arrived at a soldier who was 1.8 meters tall with a large and round waist. He saw the soldier's expression change a little. The soldier swallowed his saliva and asked, then. Can I have a bunch? Jiang Nan, you really want to eat? Isn't there a rule in the army? The soldier's face turned black. So you don't intend to give it to us? Then why are you hanging around here with your kebab? From Ivanov Karevi's resentment points plus 999. Jiang Nan's eyes lit up. Found you. But looking at this soldier, there aren't many Russian characteristics. Did he get plastic surgery or some sort of spiritual skill? The system would never make a mistake. I was afraid that you would be punished. How about this? I'll block it for you. Eat something. As he spoke, he handed the kebab in his hand to Ivanov. Ivanov then wolfed down a bunch of it. Why does it smell like a bean? Also, wasn't this kid's skewers too salty? Jiang Nan watched him finish eating and asked others cheerfully. After asking around and no one ate, Jiang Nan held the string inside, then throw it away. It's a waste. Looking at Jiang Nan swaying back, Ivanov sneered. You can only be happy for a while. After leaving the safe zone, Jiang Nan's face turned gloomy. He arrived under an inconspicuous crooked neck tree. He then threw the skewers away. He clapped his hands and teleported back to the safe zone. In the tent, Jiang Nan called Wu Liang and Tang Qianro over. What's wrong, brother Nan? What's the matter? Jiang Nan, if something happens tonight night, you will take Xiao Tang Tang and run. When you return to the next safe zone, find the patrol team for protection, okay? Don't worry about me. Don't follow me either. Wu Liang's expression froze. What happened? Tang Qianya was also nervous. Weren't we fine just now? Today, Jiang Nan was a little abnormal. The things can't be explained in a short time. Remember what I said. Protect yourself. Don't sleep tonight. Don't drive away. Just stay alert. Wu Liang wanted to say something, but when he saw Jiang Nan's eyes, he held back his words. He lowered his head and said, Got it, brother Nan. At night, all three of them stared with their eyes wide open. Not a single one of them slept. Jiang Nan was puzzled. The security at Spirit Ruins entrance was tight. How did the White Shark people sneak in? Thinking about it again, there were even people in the army on duty. Was it easy to send some people in? Would they really choose to attack in Heaven Lake Spirit Ruins? White Shark is really bold. I wonder if the blonde beauty has come. Sister Bobcat. It's a critical moment. Don't screw up. Outside the safe zone, under the crooked neck tree. A bush moved twice. It was a camouflage cloth covered with leaves. Two people were lying below, a man and a woman. They were none other than An Ning and Chen Chen of Night Legion Army. At this moment, both of their gazes were focused on the string that Jiang Nan had thrown at them. An Ning whispered, What's going on? Did Jiang Nan discover us? Chen Chen, I don't think so. He must have found us. This place is so far away from the entrance of the safe zone. Why did he deliberately come here to throw it? An Ning slowly reached out and pulled the plastic bag with the string. There was a small note inside. Soldier number 009527. Someone from White Shark. The two of them looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with shock. What was going on? How did Jiang Nan find out that Night Legion Army was following him? He even found their hidden location. How did Jiang Nan know there was a spy? He even finds out who it was. The reason why he used such a covert method to transmit the news. Was he afraid of being detected by the White Shark? An Ning immediately took out her portable military computer and searched. There was indeed a big problem with this number 009527. An Ning, damn it. How did he sneak in? He was even on duty in this safe zone. We didn't even notice. Chen Chen, should we get rid of him? Inform Captain Bobcat first. Why hasn't there been any movement in the past few days? I'm afraid that White Shark has already taken action. The two of them had just finished informing. Ivanov came out holding his stomach, his forehead covered in a cold sweat. He cursed as he walked. Motherf asterisk cur. That kid didn't cook the skewers, right? Is it poisonous or what? He had just eaten a bunch. When he was on duty, his stomach hurt. Fart was released one after another. He even suspected that his underpants had been torn apart. The soldier on duty next to him even rolled his eyes. Wasn't his fart too dense? Ivanov started choosing a place to relieve himself. But tons of pressure surged, and his sphincter was under a lot of pressure. Ivanov's face turned green, he couldn't endure it any longer. He had no time to choose the place, so he picked the crooked neck tree near him. He quickly ran over and untied his belt, revealing his white butt. He was preparing to release a wave to his heart's content. As a result, under the camouflage cloth, two pairs of frightened eyes looked at the butt that was right in front of them. And Ning and Chen Chen were going crazy. Damn it. You really know how to fucking pick a place. We originally wanted to keep you alive. If we don't make a move now, shit was about to hit them. At the same time, Jiang Nan's resentment points list was crazily refreshing. From Ivanov Karevi's resentment points plus 1000. Oh. Was it too strong? Jiang Nan laughed secretly. He had sprinkled 10 pieces of detoxification small soybean on the meat skewers. From a Ning's resentment point plus 1000. From a Ning. From Chen Chen's resentment point plus 1000. From Chen Chen. Jiang Nan. Chapter 56. What kind of plague is this? You are listening at novelfull.audio. What was going on? Weren't a Ning and Chen Chen Night Legion armies? Were the two of them the ones monitoring him under the crooked neck tree? Why was their resentment so strong? That they felt that they lost their faces after being discovered. It couldn't be. Jiang Nan didn't know. The reason why Ning and Chen Chen were so angry was that they were furious. It was because they were about to be baptized by the violent wind and rain. The place Ivanov was squatting was facing their heads. What the hell was this? Chen Chen was furious. The situation was extremely urgent. He took out his M416 and poked it. Poochie. The muzzle hit the bullseye. And Ning. My God. Where were you stabbing? What did I just see? Ivanov. Ah. 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 Ow. The sudden feeling almost made Ivanov fly into the sky. Did someone stab him? I was just F*King going to the toilet. Was someone waiting for this? Chen Chen said ruthlessly, if you don't want to die, then hold it back. But how could Ivanov endure it? He had already reached his limit. And because of the M416, the defense line had been broken. Ivanov released the pressure under Chen Chen and in Ning's terrified gaze. F*** me. Chen Chen and in Ning did not dare to stay in the same place anymore. They quickly threw away their guns and retreated, only then did they survive. Ivanov's face was pale. Damn it, Night Legion Army. I knew it was you. However, Ivanov's words were not convincing at all. Because he did not have the time to lift his pants. There was also an M416 stuck in his butt. As he spoke, he burst forth with his aura. It was actually a peak silver rank martial spirit warrior. He didn't choose to stay here but directly merge into the ground. He used his Earth-type ability to rush towards the safe zone quickly. There was a hysterical madness in his eyes. And Ning and Chen Chen missed their chance and crazily chased after him. But at this time, Ivanov had already arrived at the center of the safe zone using his Earth technique. He was now holding a pink grenade in his hand. Then a loud explosion sounded. Boom. A loud explosion caused many people to wake up from their sleep. The grenade exploded, and a large amount of red liquid splashed out, covering the entire safe zone. A strange fragrance filled the air and drifted along with the wind. The patrol troop gun black muzzle was aimed at Ivanov. Just as they were about to start firing, a Ning's figure flew down from the sky. With a wave of her hand, the air around Ivanov froze. It turned out that she was an air ability user. At this moment, Chen Chen also arrived. He slapped the bag at his waist, and hundreds of steel beads shot Ivanov into a sieve under his control. You are dead. Ivanov fell to the ground. The sudden change woke everyone up. The students woke up one after another and looked at Ivanov lying dead on the ground with fear in their eyes. Some of them even vomited. Damn! Someone died. What? What happened? It's too terrifying. Who can tell us what's going on? This dead person is wearing the uniform of the patrol team. What is this pink sticky liquid? Why can't I get rid of it? They were all just students, how could they have experienced this? They had never seen a living person die in front of their eyes. They couldn't help but tremble when they spoke. In a split second, the muzzles of the soldiers on duty aimed at Ning and Chen Chen, who had suddenly appeared. Who are you? Chen Chen flashed his military officer badge, Night Legion Army. We need you to cooperate with us. The moment the military officer badge lit up, the soldiers on duty immediately put down their guns with solemn expressions. We will fully cooperate with Night Legion Army. But, what happened? Chen Chen, someone sneaked in and attacked the security base. We have killed him. The students were in a panic, and their faces were ugly. Jiang Nan heard the explosion and left the tent. In the end, Ivanov died in the middle, his pants not even raised, and there was an M416 stuck in his butt. Damn! What kind of play was this? Wasn't this too trendy? Was this popular now? Wu Yang frowned deeply. It was apparent that something big had happened. Tang Chenya's face was pale. This was the first time she had seen a dead person. She was so scared that she hid behind Wu Yang and did not dare to come out. Brother Nan. What happened? Jiang Nan shook his head and said, I'll go and ask. He then walked out of the tent and waved at Ning with a smile. Sister Ning Ning. The two of you are the one lying under the crooked neck tree. Ning turned around and glared at Jiang Nan. Chen Chen was speechless. He had indeed discovered them. What's going on? Why is there such a big commotion? Ning was speechless. You can ask the big fool next to me. Chen Chen covered his face. He did not expect to stab that place. Jiang Nan walked up to Ivanov, kicked him, and turned the corpse over. TSK TSK. What a tragic death. The group was stunned. What was going on? Jiang Nan and Night Legion Army were chatting so happily. Were they that close? Why did he call the female officer Sister Ning Ning? They then recalled that the information of Jiang Nan at the entrance had been encrypted. For a moment, the image of Jiang Nan became even more mysterious in their hearts. Was he really an ordinary third-year student? Just now, he actually used his feet to turn over the corpse. Was he not afraid? And that tone was simply frightening. Silver rank. Wasn't silver rank strong? Jiang Nan couldn't help but look at Chen Chen. Chen Chen could only cover his old face. Chen Chen right now was too embarrassing to speak. Could he say that he was almost blown up by shit, so he stabbed him? Ning quietly felt something. A moment later, her face turned ugly, I think. We're in big trouble. Chen Chen also had a serious expression, there's something wrong with this grenade. Jiang Nan. Just as he was about to ask something, a roar came from the forest in less than half a minute. The earth began to shake, and scarlet eyes lit up in the forest. F***ck beast tide. The six-legged panther was the first to break through the forest. Its sharp claws scratched the concrete wall. Its scarlet eyes were full of desire. It was as if something in the safe zone had a fatal attraction to it. And it was only the first. Groups of spirit beasts broke through the jungle and launched a crazy attack on the safe zone. In the blink of an eye, the safe zone was completely surrounded. Bang bang. The gunshot rang out. Bullet shells fell to the ground like rain. The black muzzles of the soldiers' gun were aimed at the gate, frantically firing. Against spirit beasts below silver rank, firearms were very useful. For a time, the students were in a panic. Gunshots, roars, and screams of fear. The peaceful night was utterly broken, and it was as if they had arrived at a battlefield filled with smoke in an instant. Big guy. Xiao Tang Tang. Stay here. Jiang Nan's face was gloomy. White Shark was really going all out. Clang. He unsheathed the Tang knife. Jiang Nan's eyes were full of sharpness. Wu Yang wielded a sword in one hand and a black iron shield in the other. Brother Nan, just tell me what to do. Jiang Nan, do your best to live. Chapter 57. Invincible Leopard Print Underpants. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It wasn't that Jiang Nan was trying to scare him. Rather, it was because he had seen a silver rank existence among the spirit beasts attacking the safe zone. The situation was extremely critical. No one expected the beast tide to arrive so quickly. Moreover, most of the 500+ students here were black iron rank. Facing a ferocious beast like a tiger or a wolf, they could not protect themselves at all. Even if the troops on duty focused their firepower, they would not withstand the beast tide that was charging at them. The six-legged Black Panther charged through the defense line, ignoring the torrent of bullets. It opened its bloody mouth and bit at a soldier without stopping. For a time, blood splashed, and the wailing sound rang, alarming everyone's heart. Where had the students seen this before? Usually, hunting spirit beasts was like playing a game in their worldview. They had never thought that spirit beasts could also kill people. In the game, people could be resurrected if they died. But the reality was not a game. Would they be the next one to die in the mouth of a spirit beast? Screams and cries sounded all together. The fear of death had swallowed the hearts of all the students entirely. Jiang Nan's face was ugly, and he shouted, "Fuck. Sister Ning Ning. Have you informed Bobcat?" "And Ning, I have already informed them. However, this place is 5 days away from the entrance. It will take time for the Night Legion to arrive." Jiang Nan looked at the frightened students. Then he looked at the spirit beasts that were about to break through the defense line. If they couldn't hold on, these people would all die. Jiang Nan raised his knife and charged forward. He then shouted, "Big guy. If you aren't afraid of death, then follow me." He teleported into the group of spirit beasts as he spoke and slashed down with his knife. He cut off the head of the six-legged Black Panther. Blood splashed all over his body. Wu Yang roared, and his whole body turned into a 2-meter-tall half-bear, holding a black iron shield and sword. His eyes were scarlet red. "I'm coming." As he spoke, he charged forward with his shield. He had knocked 3 spirit beasts flying with his charge. Jiang Nan's figure flashed 3 times, and the 3 spirit beasts had already turned into cold corpses when they landed. And Ning and Chen Chen had also seen through Jiang Nan's intentions. They stood at the entrance and madly killed the spirit beasts. But the beast tide was raging. Jiang Nan and the others couldn't push them back at all. In addition, the soldiers' bullets were slowly being depleting. The knife light was like the moon, slashing another spirit beast. Jiang Nan wiped the blood off his face. His knife dripping with blood pointed straight at the frightened students. "Do you want to die? Don't you all have hands? Did you awaken your abilities just to make you all act tough in school? If we can't guard the entrance, then all of you will die. At that time, who is there to protect you? If you want to live, then come up and guard the gate." At this moment, Jiang Nan was covered in blood. With a knife in his hand, his aura was oppressive. He was like a demon god that had just walked out of hell. He was a completely different person from the unreliable him who had just been selling kebabs everywhere. The student was in fear and going crazy. The faces of Li Xiang, Lu Chuanwu, and the others turned even paler. Why was Jiang Nan not afraid at all? Was he not afraid of death? He was the first to rush up with his knife. He was calm the entire time. Will die. He will really die. When An Ning and Chen Chen saw this scene, they admired Jiang Nan even more. In a moment of crisis, he did not appear like a high school student at all. Calm and compose. Can quickly judge the situation. He was also merciless. In comparison, those students were trembling and unable to move. The victor was determined. Among these students, there was no lack of people who were brave. He slapped himself hard, even though his legs were trembling. But he still walked up. Nan Shen. I'll listen to you. How do we defend? Damn. We can't wait for death. Those soldiers sacrificed themselves to protect us. I don't want to be a waste. I have to go home alive. I still have to go back and show my filial piety to my parents. More than 20 of them suddenly stood out. Jiang Nan killed another spirit beast. Push these spirit beasts back. Close the gate. Guard the safe zone. Wait for Night Legion army to come and help. Jiang Nan's thoughts were very clear. With the addition of this group of students, the situation immediately became much better. Once someone stepped out, more and more students joined the battle. Ling Feng and Li Mayan couldn't stay any longer and were about to help guard the gate. Li Xiang hurriedly said, "Are you too crazy? You might die. Let them guard it." Lu Chuanwu, yes, yes. It is more important to protect yourself. Ling Feng said in a muffled voice, aren't Jiang Nan and the others risking their lives? Who doesn't have parents? Are we just going to enjoy the protection of others? I don't want to look down on myself. Li Mayan didn't say anything and just looked at them coldly. However, this feeling made Li Xiang even more uncomfortable. F***ck. If you want to go, go on your own. I won't accompany you. At the entrance, Jiang Nan had already gone crazy from killing. Jiang Nan had directly raised his knife skill to the intermediate level. Although he was killing amid the spirit beasts, he had a pleasant feeling. And Wu Liang was even more ferocious. The iron shield smashed fiercely, and even his 2-meter long sword slashed wildly. His shield smashed quite a few spirit beasts into meat patties. The spirit beast can't even close to him in a 5-meter radius. He was simply like a fierce beast. Chen Chen and An Ning looked at Wu Liang with bright eyes. The students who participated in the battle also gave Wu Liang a thumbs up. This heavy shield warrior was truly courageous. Just at this moment, Wu Liang seemed to be in the mood to kill. With a wild roar, he directly turned into a beast. He turned into a big black bear that was nearly 4 meters tall. Rip. The huge change in size directly broke his pants. As a result, An Ning almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Chen Chen was so scared that he wet his pants. The students were petrified on the spot. Some female students covered their eyes and screamed loudly. They saw a big black bear more than 4 meters tall, holding an iron shield and sword. The bare fur all over his body was black and thick. On his lower body was a leopard print triangular underpants. It perfectly fit Wu Liang's figure. It stretches up with Wu Liang's ups and downs. The originally intense battlefield suddenly became deathly silent. Forget about the triangular one. Why was it leopard print? Was there a need to be so flashy? Brother. We really didn't expect you to be such a thoughtful man. You were a man of culture. Tang Qinya was stunned. The leopard print triangle in front of her had already collapsed her worldview. This. Did all the boys nowadays like this kind of thing? It was really exciting. Wu Liang immediately noticed the gaze on him and thought that his heroic presence moved them. He immediately roared, "Come! Who wants to fight with me? Ning, dot. Chen, dot. Don't call me brother. Your invincible leopard print underpants have destroyed the atmosphere." A silver rank iron-eating bear spirit beast stood on the opposite side. He looked at Wu Liang with his big black eyes and then looked at himself with a face full of doubt. "We are all bears. Why do you have a leopard print, and I don't? Why were you the only one?" Wu Liang had a smug look on his face. Jiang Nan shouted as he fought. "The one wearing the triangular leopard print is our people. It's not a spirit beast. Don't cut the wrong one. Ning, dot. Tang Chinya, dot. There was no need to emphasize it, right? Which spirit beast would wear underpants? Chapter 58. Single shot headshot. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The battle was extremely intense. The students were even more energetic, each displaying their own divine abilities. They absolutely did not dare to be distracted for a moment during the battle. But the continuously swaying leopard pattern on the battlefield was really too eye-catching, right? We don't want to be distracted. But I can't control myself. After a great battle, the spirit beasts were finally pushed back. Jiang Nan seized the opportunity to teleport to the gate and push the switch. Bang! The heavy iron gate fell and finally sealed the entrance. The spirit beasts that broke in were quickly killed. The students looked at the corpses of the spirit beasts on the ground and the badly bitten soldiers on duty. They all fell silent. They were the ones who had rushed to the front just now. Even if they didn't have any abilities, they still used their flesh and blood to fight. They protected the safety of the students. Jiang Nan did not feel good and silently saluted them. These lovely people. They were worthy of respect. But there was no time to be sad now. At this moment, Chen began to make arrangements. The rest of the troops on duty will go up the wall to snipe the spirit beasts. The students can also volunteer. Earth.type and Wood.type martial spirit warrior, reinforce the wall. As long as we can hold on until Night Legion army arrives, we can escape. After a series of arrangements, the students began to move quickly. The scene that had just happened was all captured by the drone. Bobcat had already received the notice and brought people with a cold face. Moreover, Night Legion army, who was hiding everywhere in Spirit Ruin, was running madly toward the 5th safe zone. At this moment, the people watching in the hotel were also busy. They informed the students with the satellite bracelets that the examination has ended early and evacuate immediately. The students from the upper and lower path did not know what had happened at all, and they were all stunned. But they could only obey the arrangements. And they even hurriedly cut off the live broadcast. However, what happened at the safe zone had already been broadcast. The number of people in the live broadcast room had increased to 1 million. The barrage even exploded. Beast Tide. How did they trigger a beast tide? Did you see that? It was too tragic. Nan Shen is indeed Nan Shen. At this time, the most reliable student is him. One is Tang Knife, the other is Triangular Army Thorn. He cut down the herd of beasts. I have goosebumps all over my body. If not for him shouting, those students wouldn't have moved at all. It could be seen when he rescues others in the fire. Although Nan Shen is thick-skinned, he is really reliable when it comes to a crisis. Speaking of which, who noticed that leopard-pattern black bear? Although it is inappropriate, I still can't help but want to ridicule it. Pray. Everything is safe. But at this moment, the live broadcast was suddenly interrupted. Why is it suddenly interrupted? We want to see. Hey. Why aren't you broadcasting? This is the same as the pants are taken off, What is the difference between you telling me that's there no toilet paper? The power of the netizens was huge. They directly found Jiang Nan's Weibo and crazily left comments below. Small candles and expressions of putting their palms together were sent out tens of thousands of times. Nan Shen. You have to return safely. I was waiting for you to come back and have an online dating with me. Nan Shen, show us a miracle again. Just like the fire rescue. Bring them back safely. We are all waiting for you at the night market of Jiang City. At this moment, Zhong Yingxue and Xia Yao were sitting on the bed, watching the live broadcast room whose signal had been cut off and falling silent. Xia Yao's eyes were full of anxiety. I'll drive. Zhong Yingxue was already wearing her clothes. 2 minutes later, the Koenigsegg engine roared. In the darkness of the night, they sped towards the Changbai mountain. Brother. You must be safe. At this moment, in a safe zone. The wall trembled from the impact. The students had already started to get busy. Some elemental spells were used to attack spirit beasts from afar. The soldiers on duty were even standing on the wall and pouring out their firepower. At this moment, Jiang Nan had placed the corpses of the soldiers and was taking off their equipment. He equipped the bulletproof vest, M416 rifle, and magazines on his body. To deal with spirit beasts below silver rank, using firearms would save more energy than a knife. Triggers kill. Firearms. LV0. Adding skill points. 100, skill leveled up. Firearms, proficient. LV0. This was not the time to save skill points. The reason why he had saved up skill points was for this kind of emergency. Add more. Adding skill points. 1000, skill leveled up. Firearms, intermediate. LV0. When the soldier on duty saw that Jiang Nan was holding a gun, he was shocked and hurriedly stopped him. This student. You must not joke around. It's very dangerous to use a gun. Don't use it without professional training. It's easy to hurt yourself and others. And Ning and Chen Chen naturally noticed this scene. Yes, it's not good if it accidental discharge. It's too dangerous. Moreover, Jiang Nan was a student, so he probably didn't even know how to switch the safety lever and change the magazine. If he used it rashly, it might really hurt him and others. Li Xiang seized the opportunity to ridicule him. You thought it was a game. This is a real gun. Lu Chuanwu, hurry up and put it down. You might hit our people. The other students were also scared and swallowed their saliva. Could reality be compared with the game? It was two completely different things. Jiang Nan narrowed his eyes and slung the M416 assault rifle across his neck. He skillfully removed the magazine and checked the number of bullets. He pulled open the bolt and checked if it were empty. Then, he reloaded, pulled the bolt and switched the safety lever. His movements were smooth and fast. He raised his gun and aimed, pulling the trigger without hesitation. Bang! A gunshot was heard, and the gun's muzzle burst out with flames. A spider eye that had just climbed up and was about to cross the wall was shot down. The body smashed outside the wall. Jiang Nan, can you shut your stinky mouth? Go do the work that an excavator should do. This shot. And Ning and Chen Chen were dumbfounded. The soldier on duty seemed to have seen a ghost. Such a long distance and this practical shooting. Even a veteran who had been in the army for 7 or 8 years might not be able to hit its eyes so accurately. But Jiang Nan. How old was he? No one would believe that he had not undergone professional training. But where did he receive the training? Could it be a fluke? However, no matter if it were his gun movements, reloading, aiming, or firing, no one could find anything wrong with it. It was all textbook movements. The entire audience was speechless. Li Xiang almost fainted from anger. Jiang Nan really knew how to play with guns. And he was so accurate. The students were also stunned. This was too professional. Could it be that Jiang Nan was a spy planted by Night Legion Army among the students? However, Jiang Nan's next move was so brilliant that it made one's scalp go numb. He teleported onto the wall, facing a dense mass of spirit beasts. He turns the M416 into a single-shot mode, aims with the gun, and shoots crazily. The first bullet shot the spirit beast's leg joint, making it lose its balance. The second bullet directly explodes the eyes of the spirit beast, doing a headshot. 2 rounds of bullets, 1 spirit beast. It was Mozambique's shooting method. The reloading was even more terrifying. He pressed the reloading clip with one hand, and with a swing of the gun, the clip fell off. His other hand had already taken out a magazine and inserted it. He then loaded it and fired again. The time it took to change the clip was no more than 3 seconds. His movements were smooth and fluid, and he even maintained his shooting posture the entire time. So professional that Ning thought that her shooting coach was here. Chapter 59. Being motionless is a tortoise. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bang! Bang! 2 gunshots were heard. Another spirit beast fell. Every shot accurately hit the joints and heads of the spirit beast. Under the premise of saving bullets the most, with the greatest degree of damage. Ning and Chen Chen did not know what to say. The students all gave a thumbs up. In Tang Chinya's eye, Jiang Nan was so handsome when he shot the spirit beast. It was more professional than the movements in the police movies. How many secrets did Jiang Nan have? People couldn't help but think of it. As for Wu Liang, he was already used to it. Otherwise, why would he be called Nan Shen? If you told Wu Liang that Jiang Nan knew how to fly a plane and tank, he would believe you. It was just that his small leopard print was wandering on the wall, which was a bit eye-catching. As time went on, more and more spirit beasts gathered. He couldn't even kill them. One of the female students was caught off guard and was directly pulled down. She screamed as she fell off the wall, her eyes filled with despair. There was already a crocodile with a bloody mouth waiting below. Jiang Nan had sharp eyes, so how could he not see it? He teleported over and hugged the girl. He forcefully scooped her out of the crocodile's mouth and teleported back. The girl was covered in tears and was still in shock. Seeing that Jiang Nan had saved her, she wanted to express her gratitude. It's time to lose weight. You look quite skinny, but you're quite heavy to hold. BDNV female classmate. Was there a need to be so direct? Just as she was about to explain that she was not fat, she saw that Jiang Nan had already teleported away. She could not help but stomp her feet in anger. But she was not as scared as she was before. From Yang Lu's resentment points plus 521. Oh. This girl was interesting. The resentment point was the same as loving me. I can't help it if I'm such a handsome man. More and more spirit beasts were coming, and even Ning and Chen Chen, who were at the silver rank, could not kill them all. The wall could be broken at any time. Another student fell when the wall shook. Jiang Nan quickly went to save him. But this time, Jiang Nan only brought back half of it. He grabbed the student's ankle, but the upper body had disappeared. Jiang Nan clearly remembered that this student was the one who stood up to help in the beginning. F***CK. With a loud curse, Jiang Nan's eyes instantly turned red. He pulled out his knife and rushed down. Ning was anxious. Jiang Nan, don't be rash. However, he had already rushed down and aimed at the rhinoceros that had bitten off the student's upper body. He used all his strength and slashed down. In the next moment, Jiang Nan teleported back with a bloody smell. He was holding on to the rhinoceros head. The students all fell silent. Casualties were inevitable. But if it happened right in front of their eyes. No one would feel comfortable. At this moment, someone said in surprise, Night Legion Army. It's Night Legion Army. Sure enough, there were figures dressed in black military uniforms rushing towards the safe zone in the distance. But before Jiang Nan could heave a sigh of relief, a shocking change occurred. The soil was surging like water in the center of the safe zone. From the middle, a Russian man wearing a green military uniform appeared. On his arm was a badge with a white shark printed on it. The Russian man grinned. His hands smashed into the ground. The ground of the entire safe zone was like a wave, completely decertified. The wall instantly lost its support and was broken through by the spirit beasts. The scene was in chaos. When Ning saw this, his expression changed greatly. Damn it, gold rank. Chen Chen also gritted his teeth. White shark. Protect Jiang Nan. In the chaos, Jiang Nan felt like a poisonous snake was staring at him. The Russian man stared at Jiang Nan with his blue eyes. Not good. Jiang Nan thought to himself. He turned around and roared, Big guy. Take Xiao Tang Tang and run. Wu Liang had just steadied himself in the chaos, so he had no time to reply. He directly picked up Tang Qinya and the iron shield in one hand, breaking out of the encirclement. Tang Qinya looked anxious. Where is Jiang Nan? Where is Jiang Nan? Do as Brother Nan said before. At this time, Wu Liang would not hesitate at all. All he had to do was carry out Jiang Nan's orders. Jiang Nan's eyes met the Russian man's gaze. Then he smiled brightly. Your mother is dead. Russian man. What the hell? I thought you were going to say something cruel. Before starting the fight, you would say a few words to increase your momentum. In the end, you said my mother died when you started the fight. You didn't play according to the rules. Weren't these harsh words too ruthless? From Konstantin Georgievich Postovsky-Yekov's resentment points plus 999. Jiang Nan was stunned. What kind of bloody name was this? Such a long name. Wasn't it too much? Jiang Nan was very clear that White Shark had come for him. As long as he could restrain this uncle. This gold rank uncle would not start a massacre. At least, he could give his classmates time to escape. In a split second, Tang knife was unsheathed. Come, I'll play with you. Constantine smiled sinisterly and was about to attack. However, the expression on his face gradually became terrified, and he took 2 steps back. Jiang Nan. Are you scared now? I just pulled out a knife. Was this person as watery as his name? Could it be that he was intimidated by my domineering aura? Constantine, you brat, just you wait. You won't be able to escape White Shark's grasp. You better not die. After saying that, he ran away. Jiang Nan. He just run away. Were all the mercenaries this week? White Shark. Don't give him a salary. This guy doesn't do his work correctly. In the end, a gust of wind suddenly came from behind him. Jiang Nan turned his head to look. He saw a 20-meter tall violent earth bear rushing down the hill with red eyes toward him. Jiang Nan, damn it. It's so big. It's almost as big as King Kong in the movie. No wonder Constantine ran away. Such a big guy, at least a gold rank, right? The violent earth bear stomped on the ground, and Jiang Nan thought there was an earthquake. In just 2 or 3 steps, it arrived at a ruined camp. At this moment, Li Xiang's team was running for their lives. Li Mayan was so unlucky that she tripped over a wooden stake, and the barbed wire wrapped around her jeans. She struggled a few times but could not escape. As for Li Xiang, he was running for his life in a panic. As for Lu Chuanwu and the others, they did not stop at all. Li Mayan said in a panic, "Save me. Save me. I am entangled." Li Xiang and the others turned around and saw that Li Mayan was more than 10 meters away from them and was entangled. Looking up, the giant violent earth bear raised its huge palm and slapped towards Li Mayan. Li Xiang gritted his teeth and ran away. I'm sorry. Lu Chuanwu and the other hesitated for 2 seconds, then looked at the violent earth bear and ran away. They didn't say a word. Li Mayan was stunned as if something in her heart had shattered. Tears flowed out unwillingly. Looking at the giant falling palm, her eyes were filled with despair. Is this end of my life? In the end, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Li Mayan. Hey, hey, hey. Big Sister Yen. What are you standing there, not moving? Being motionless is a tortoise. Jiang Nan smiled brightly, revealing a set of white teeth. Behind him was the giant palm of the violent earth bear. Li Mayan. Chapter 60. Take off your jeans. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Mayan was about to go crazy. What kind of time was this? He was still in the mood to joke. Do you have to be so calm? Jiang Nan calmly tore off the barbed wire. He picked up Li Mayan. He even turned around and calmly looked at the 20-meter tall earth bear. He then raised his middle finger. Bye. Boom. The earth trembled, and a huge bear paw smashed down. Soil and rocks flew everywhere. That power could not help but make people click their tongues. If they were to get hit by this, they would definitely become a meat paste. 100 meters away, Jiang Nan slashed the rocks that were flying over with his knife. Where are Li Xiang and the others? Li Mayan's body stiffened, and she bit her lower lip tightly. She didn't even notice that it was bleeding. No. I didn't see them. She didn't know what she was feeling. The most trusted Li Xiang on normal days. The model class leader. He abandoned her without hesitation when she was in a life and death crisis. She never thought that Jiang Nan, who always went against her, would save her in the end. Although she hated him. But she had to admit it. Jiang Nan's series of actions, as well as his brilliant smile under the bear paw, were really handsome. Li Mayan, who was carried on Jiang Nan's shoulder, felt an inexplicable sense of security in her heart. She just wanted to lie down like this. But Jiang Nan was unwilling. Hey. I said you were a turtle. Are you really not moving? Come down. Do it yourself. Li Mayan. Let me move. Humph. Do it yourself. Wrong. Why did the tone that came out of Jiang Nan's mouth suddenly change? From Li Mayan's resentment points plus 333. But looking at the raging earth bear, Li Mayan's eyes were filled with fear. What? What should we do now? At this moment, Jiang Nan was her only pillar of support. Jiang Nan curled his lips. What do you mean by us? It's you. You will die if you follow me. When Li Mayan heard this, she hugged Jiang Nan's arm tightly in her arms. Don't leave me alone. His arms felt soft, and the 2 pieces of flesh on her chest were deformed from the pressure. Jiang Nan. Omega. It's great no. No way. How could he yield to something like this as a promising youth? But at the same time, he also felt Li Mayan tremble. I'm not joking. If you follow me, you will really die. Joking. White Shark came for him. Who knew how many arrangements they had made behind his back? Let Li Mayan follow him. He didn't even know how he would die. They were all classmates. Although they usually didn't deal with each other. Can Jiang Nan really abandon Li Mayan? He couldn't harden his heart. Besides, who wasn't raised by their parents? How sad would they be if their child died in spirit ruin? As he spoke, he pulled his hands away with all his might. But Li Mayan hugged him tightly and refused to let go. Are you a dog skin plaster? Why was this woman so clingy? F***ck. At this moment, the earth bear sniffed lightly. Its scarlet eyes immediately locked onto Jiang Nan. It took large strides and charged over. Jiang Nan widened his eyes. There were so many people, why did it choose me to eat? Speak. Were you jealous of my handsome face? Jiang Nan had no choice but to pick up Li Mayan. He teleported away. And that earth bear had actually chased after Jiang Nan. More than 1 million alpacas were rushing back and forth in Jiang Nan's heart. The earth bear was lured away by Jiang Nan. The pressure on the students in the ruins of the safe zone lessened, and most of them ran out. At this moment, Ning and Chen Chen had already met up with Bobcat, who had rushed over. At this moment, Bobcat had a cold expression on her face. What's going on? Where is Jiang Nan? Ning said anxiously, I saw him being chased away by that earth bear. Also, there is a gold rank Earth Awakener among the White Shark people. Bobcat said coldly, White Shark is not limited to just these people. The rest of the students who retreated were also ambushed. The two of you cooperate with Night Legion Army and help the students to retreat. It's better for you to die than let anything happen to the students. Do you understand? Chen Chen saluted, yes. Captain. Ning looked anxious, but what about Jiang Nan? Spirit Ruin was so big. Finding a person was no different from finding a needle in a haystack. Moreover, there were white sharks hidden in the dark. Night Legion Army would escort the students to retreat, so it had no time to find Jiang Nan. It was equivalent to announcing Jiang Nan's death penalty. Bobcat gritted her teeth, it's better to give up on the small number. We can't disregard so many students for Jiang Nan. This is also White Shark's goal. They want to use the students to pin down Night Legion Army's people. I'll go find him myself. If Jiang Nan dies, it is his fate. I, Luo Tianhong, will shoulder the blame myself. As she spoke, she bent her knees and squatted, her wild power pouring out. She crushed the hard ground, and her entire body shot out like a cannonball. It set off gusts of wind. Ning looked worried. Chen Chen said solemnly, carry out the order. On the other side, Jiang Nan carried Li Mayan and ran for his life. It was dark, so Jiang Nan could barely recognize the way. He brought Li Mayan to hide in a cave. Only then did the two of them heave a sigh of relief. They could still faintly hear the rumbling outside. The earth bear was still looking for them. Jiang Nan was also filled with suspicion. Why did it have to chase me? What did this big guy rely on to chase me all the way here? I can't even get rid of it by teleporting. As he spoke, his gaze fell on Li Mayan, who was at the side. At this moment, Li Mayan was sitting in the corner, hugging her knees. Her big eyes were filled with tears. She no longer had her usual arrogance. She was sobbing in a low voice. At this moment, Jiang Nan's gaze swept over Li Mayan like a razor. Li Mayan looked at Jiang Nan weakly. She then shrank her neck. Why was he looking at me like that? Was he thinking about something strange? She was getting worried. She then heard Jiang Nan say, take off your jeans. Li Mayan, Take off my jeans. You want me to take off my jeans at this time? What do you want to do? As expected. Jiang Nan did not have good intentions when he saved her. He even specially brought her into the cave. As Li Mayan thought of this, she frantically retreated, her eyes filled with fear. Don't come over. Jiang Nan. I really didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Jiang Nan, What the hell were you talking about? What's wrong with me? I'm just asking you to take off your jeans. Sure enough, a narcissistic woman was too scary. Jiang Nan saw that Li Mayan's jeans were stained with a large amount of pink mucus. It was the grenade that Ivanov dropped, and the culprit behind the beast tide was this thing. Right at this moment, the earth bear came, but the cave entrance was small. It waved its palm and hit the cave, scaring Li Mayan into screaming. Jiang Nan was anxious. Hurry up. Take off your jeans. Li Mayan wiped her tears. Can we escape first? If you want it, I'll give it to you. Please. There was already a hint of pleading in her tone. Jiang Nan. What? I don't understand. No. Take it off now. Li Mayan desperately shook her head. Something like this. No matter what happened, she could not show it to Jiang Nan.